Did you know that California's Prop 19 offers a special exception for wildfire victims to be able to transfer their property tax basis to a new property? We're going to run through a quick calculation to show you property taxes being transferred from a destroyed wildfire property to a new property. We're going to show you the two ways that this Prop 19 wildfire exemption can be used, and then we're going to show you very quickly the form that you will fill out when you're taking advantage of Prop 19 for wildfires. And remember, we can't give tax or legal advice, but for the most honest and up-to-date real estate advice, subscribe to this channel. Proposition 19 went into effect on April 1st, 2021, and it has a special exception for victims of wildfires. Now, this is not exclusive to Los Angeles. This is all across the state. When a wildfire has been declared by the governor, that emergency, those folks are able to take advantage of this exemption for wildfires and transferring property taxes. There's a few important points. Number one, it must be your primary residence that is destroyed in the wildfire. So it needs to have the homeowners or veterans exemption filed on the property. The replacement property that's purchased must also be a primary residence. In order to take advantage of this for your primary residence, it must be substantially damaged, which means 50% of the land or the improvements must be destroyed. In order to qualify, you are going to need to sell the fire damaged structure as is. So you're not going to be able to do any repairs or improvements to the original fire damaged property. The wildfire exemption does not require you to be 55 or older. There isn't a minimum age for it. You just have to be the owner and it has to be your primary residence. In that same vein, when you're 55 or older, you get 3 chances to transfer your property tax basis. This wildfire transfer does not take away from those 3. So this is completely separate from that count. So let's take a quick look at a simple calculation for transferring property taxes due to a wildfire. The cash value, the market value is 1.5, and the property taxes are calculated off of this 550 number. But the house has been destroyed. So now you decide you are going to sell that destroyed house and piece of land, and you're going to buy another house, or you're going to buy a house and then sell the piece of land. You can do it in either direction. But you're going to spend $2 million on the new property, and I apologize for my handwriting right now. So this new lovely home, that extra window costs an extra $500,000. So there you go. This is now $2 million. So what you're going to be able to do under Prop 19 is you're going to be able to bring over this property tax basis, but you can see that there's actually, it's gone up 500,000. So that is going to be added to this property tax basis here. So it's going to be $1,050,000 for the purpose of calculating property taxes, but you can see there's still a dramatic savings there. Now, had you spent $1.5 million or less, you would have transferred this over right here. It would have stayed at the 550 where your taxes were before. Now, your question is going to be, but my house burned down and there's nothing left. It's just a vacant piece of land. It's not worth 1.5. For Prop 19 and wildfires, what you use is the value of the property the day before it was destroyed. And who calculates that value? Well, the county assessor does. But you can help the county assessor with comps, things like that. Again, an appraisal or BPO. Day and date appraisal is what it's called when you go back in time. But that's the value that's used. You may be able to sell this piece of land that's left over for $500,000. That's irrelevant for the property tax calculation. What matters is the value before it burned down. Hopefully that makes sense. Leave your questions below. And don't forget, you can use this either direction. That's sell before buy or buy before sell. Diving a little deeper, but I put this together to help explain and reiterate that you can go in either direction. You can either buy that replacement property first and then sell the damaged property, or you can sell the damaged property and then buy the replacement property. Either way you do it, you have a 2-year gap. If you decide to buy the replacement first and then you sell the destroyed property, you are going to be able to use 100% of that full cash value of the property the day before it was destroyed. If you sell that destroyed property first, and then you go ahead and buy a replacement property within that 1 year later, you're going to be able to do it for 105% of the value of the destroyed property the day before it was destroyed. If you do that in year 2, before the end of year 2, you're going to get up to 110% of the value of the property the day before it was destroyed. So getting in the weeds a little bit here, diving deep, but it is an important thing to understand. You can do it in either direction. And don't forget, we're real estate brokers based in Southern California. We can help you with this wildfire exemption or the 55 plus Prop 19 transfer. Reach out to make sure you don't miss those important deadlines. And here's a quick look at the form you're going to use. That's BOE-19-V. That stands for Board of Equalization. 19 is Prop 19 and V is for the wildfire transfer. This is an easy form to fill out. I'm not going to dive through all of it. The important thing to remember is you are going to fill this form out and submit it to the assessor in the county where you purchased the replacement property. Now, if you buy the replacement property first and then within the 2 years sell the destroyed property, you are going to fill this form out after you have sold the destroyed property, and you're going to owe full property taxes until that destroyed property is sold. If you sell first and then within your 2 years buy, then you're just going to fill this out in the county where you go ahead and buy that replacement property. And the great news with Prop 19, unlike what we had in the past, is it applies to all counties, so you can buy a replacement property in any county in the state of California. Did you find this helpful? Hit that like button and share it with someone who you think needs to hear more about Prop 19 for wildfires. Also, subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter so updates like these can be gently delivered to your email inbox every Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we can't wait to help you.